What's the secret to making an artist happy as an artist? I suppose you're with your friends with Bree, for example. And you're like, Bree, as a painter, maybe you're not letting yourself do this. Or she comes up to you and she's just like, I'm so frustrated. How do you console Bree, the artist, frustrated?
I think maybe just asking her what she envisions and then having her talk about it.
And why would that help her?
Because anything I say isn't going to match up with her ideal. So I would just like to hear what her ideal is. And
bring her back to the vision?
Yeah.
That's kind of cool, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Can you tell me, whatever your name is?
Susie. Or Jangela.
Yeah. How do you get an artist to get excited about their work? Let's suppose you live with a painter who hasn't painted in like 4 months and says that she just doesn't even want to paint anymore. How would you get her excited about it?
I think I probably wouldn't even actually talk about the work. I would probably plan something fun to do, like going out somewhere and finding like a waterfall hidden away somewhere, or like just doing something enjoyable so that it would actually be a source of inspiration versus trying to be like, oh yeah, you need to paint, like you're gonna like it if you paint. Or because if it's like a source coming from inside you, then like words aren't gonna matter, but actual inspiration will.
Bree, where is it that you get inspired?
It's a good question. Sometimes hardware stores. I'm not kidding. Or art supply stores. But also I'm inspired by nature and seeing other works of beauty.
Probably the way to inspire Brie would actually be like, I'm gonna draw this picture, and after like 3 lines, she would be like, let me fix that for you.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. That's true. Just put something ugly up and then watch
Yeah.
what she does.
Like, Brie, what do you think about this picture I drew? And she'd throw it in the trash and do a new one.
Gets inspired by ugliness.
That is kind of true, though. I'm inspired by what I can restore or fix.
So, how do you know what you're going to do when there's many ways you could do it?
That's also a good question, because I don't usually. But sometimes there's like a specific project or like whatever that I have in mind in a way that I want it to look or whatever, but I don't have it completely figured out, because part of that is just in the process that you figure it out. So, what was the question again?
Wow. All right. I'm not doing this. You can't get away with that kind of stuff. All right, page 2. Let's read Aristotle, Nicomachean Ethics. This is a key paragraph because it's one of the very few spots where Aristotle speaks directly about art. And when he does, he doesn't talk about it as a thing. He talks about it as a virtue, as a capacity. So here he's speaking about art as almost like the word, the skill or the capacity, the ability to produce art. Who can read this for me?
In the very
Thank you.
In the variable are included both things made and things done. Making and acting are different. For their nature, we treat even the discussions outside our school as reliable.
Stop. Making would be what Latin word?
Facere.
And acting would be what Latin word?
Facere.
Very good. So here he's making this distinction 2,400 years ago.
So that the reasoned state of capacity to act is different from the reasoned state of capacity to make.
Stop. The reasoned state of capacity, it means like the intellectual virtue. The reasoned state means your ability coming from reason. So the intellectual ability to act is different from the intellectual ability to make. Okay.
Hence, too, they are not included one in the other. For neither is acting making, nor is making acting. Now, since architecture is an art and is essentially a reasoned state of capacity to make, and there is neither any art that is not such a state, nor any such state that is not an art. Art is identical with a state of any art that is. Sorry, I lost my spot. Art is identical with a state of capacity to make, involving a true course of reasoning.
Okay, go back. Read that again,
Yeah.
please. Now, since
architecture is an art and is essentially a reasoned state of capacity to make.
Stop, think. Is that right? Get it? Architecture is an art. That means it's an ability of your mind to make.
Mm-hmm.
So you're an architect when you're able to see things in space. Build, okay?
And there is neither any art that is not such a state, nor any such state that is not an art.
Stop. Let's read that. And there is neither any art that is not such a state. So you can't say painting exists outside of the mind. Like everything that exists comes from the mind. So there's no art that's not a state of mind. Nor any such state of mind, like painting in the mind, that's not an art. So I don't have wooga wooga in my mind. What does that do? I don't know. It's a reason capacity to make, but we don't know what it makes. Okay?
Art is identical with a state of capacity to make.
Stop. Art is identical.
With a state of capacity to make.
Yeah, of the mind. Okay.
Involving a true course of reasoning. All art is concerned with coming into being. An example, with contriving and considering how something may come into being, which is capable of either being or not being, and whose origin is in the maker and not in the thing made. For art is concerned neither with things that are or come into being by necessity, nor with things that do so in accordance with nature, since these have their origin in themselves. Making and acting being different, art must be a matter of making, not acting. And in a sense, chance and art are concerned with the same objects. As Agathon says, art loves chance and chance loves art. Art, then, is a state concerned with making, involving a true course of reasoning. And lack of art, on the contrary, is a state concerned with making, involving a false course of reasoning. Both are concerned with the variable. What?
Welcome to Aristotle. Pretty
I feel
dense,
like I
huh?
need to read that like 10
Yeah.
more times.
Yeah, he's dense, man. It's dense. Every section of you have to stop at every phrase and incorporate it before moving on. That's why he's the genius.
Art loves chance and chance loves art.
What puzzles you about what you just read?
Because I feel like it's all kind of like flipped back on each other a little bit, the way he writes, you know, like art loves chance, chance loves art. So like what,
How does that relate?
yeah, and just like trying to, for neither is acting making nor is making acting. So it's very much like
He's trying to prove,
contemplating on
yeah,
what he's,
I think he's trying to prove that art is about making and not of acting. And the way he proves it is to say it's just like chance. Chance exists, but chance isn't about your free choice to love somebody. Chance is about whether or not things just happen, bridges collapse, and snow comes in August, things like that.
yeah, the other one he has is there's neither any art that is not such a state nor any such state that is not an art.
What is he saying there? He's saying that art is something that comes as a matter of intellect. Because you don't have any capacity in the mind to make that doesn't have a corresponding art. And there is no corresponding art that doesn't come from the capacity of the mind to make. He's searching, what is art? That's the question there. And he's like, it's the reason capacity of the mind to make. And then he just tries to prove and explore. So I want to introduce you through that. That paragraph right there could be the source of many, many talks, many classes, many lectures, all kinds of insight. It's just very dense. Compared to Rilke, dear sir, look into the patience of the wellspring of your soul. Aristotle's like, very good. Well, I'd like for us to say a prayer, but I have a little treat for you before we do that. Can we pull up the screen? Can we kill this thing?
Okay.
Bye, everybody. Bye.